Lumber James and Steven, Jess likes to grow Jimmy Olsen, and you're in luck because they're ahead.
Heyo, welcome to the Omnidog and Omnicat show. Sitting in for Omnicat today is Earth One Jess. How are you doing?
I am thriving. I have a doomsday clock approaching. Jess knows they will be shutting my internet down in 2.5 hours. So I'm just doing the best thing you can do with the internet while I have it, which is hang out with you and all of our viewers today, our friends.
Yay!
Talking Superman.
All our viewers and friends talking Superman. Here's AS, Sazmurf, Brown Mist, ahoy, ahoy, ahoy. I think that's how they used to answer the phone in the beginning.
Yeah, I think that's true.
New 52 Kara was kind of edgelord stuff. Well, this isn't New 52 Kara, but hi, Mr. Awesome. Kenny, I think everybody on the internet knows this as a fact.
It's a truth universally acknowledged in the words of Jane Austen.
Yeah. James is here.
It's got a little superhero.
Oh, is that Supergirl there?
There's a ponytail, so I assume so.
Oh, okay.
Unless it's mullet Superman era, and it could be either. Dealer's choice, Rorschach test.
Belgian Ellen. Oh, I want to hear about Brussels Comic Con. That's awesome. And I have the two absolutes. Haven't read the post lobe material. I'll save you from having to read it. Don't bother. You don't need to get the second Omni of this. So there, I just saved you like $80. You're welcome.
Usually you're taking people's money.
Yeah.
Is this like a credit system? Is there a tally somewhere? James, get on that.
Just saved Mr. Awesome $80. Doug, howdy guys. Also a fan of the two animated films based on the first few. Oh, I didn't know about that. That's interesting. Yeah. Okay, cool. I want to see those. Adrian's ready.
When we get to it, there's one that's an adaptation of one of these arcs that I think is the book's better, but I actually think the adaptation of one of the other ones, the movie's just as good, if not a little better. So there's a little teaser for when we actually get to the books in an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, it's pretty inconsiderate of them to kill your internet.
But the new internet, I think, is going to be better, and it's $5 cheaper a month. So
better and cheaper? I like the sound of that.
I'm convinced the internet we have in my apartment, we're like the only people keeping them in business. No one I meet has this provider. So I'm glad to be rid of them.
Something from back in the cable TV provider days? That's what ours was.
Yes. I don't have cable, but it is. It's called Suite Solutions. And I think they only serve apartment complexes. Sweet like SUITE.
Oh.
It's not sweet the other way. It's spicy, I would say. A little prickly. Not the best some days.
So you're getting upgraded and it's cheaper. That's awesome.
Yeah, for now. You know how they will raise the price, I'm sure, next year. But that's next year's problem.
That's future Jess's problem.
Yeah.
What's up, Starscream? Yeah, happy Saturday. Wayne, how you doing, buddy? Howdy. Brown Myth says, it's crazy you're talking about this material today. I just picked up the second volume a few hours ago. Looks amazing, to be honest. Oh, yeah, the second volume. You'll be happy with it. Pity Ma. Hi, Jess, and chat. Another fun Superman stream. Nice to have you here with us, Pity Ma.
Yeah. Love seeing those dogs pop up every time.
Yes. Okay. Yarne, how you doing? Better and cheaper is always good. Uh-oh. Here he is, Harvey Picar's ghost. It's not that bad. If you already own it, it's okay. It's okay. The problem is this first run is almost iconic, I think. Like especially the Supergirl drawn by Michael Turner and the third major arc. I'm already forgetting what the first arc was. What's happening here? Blah, 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 blah. Superman and Batman do something. Oh, Batman's almost getting drowned.
The first
yeah.
one is the Lex. Lex is in that one.
I had a continuity question real quick. I'm sorry to get to the topic already. I promise we'll get off it.
You're asking that, not me, because you know I won't know the answer. But let's see.
Okay, but the first book that deals with Power Suit Lex, who's crazy. He's also president. So he. Okay, wait a sec. He. All right. Wait. Oh, He's considered dead. Spoiler alert. He's buried. He's presumed dead. He's in the big green suit. But then in the very next story, he's back by Jeff Johns. Wait.
I think we do get a tease that he's still alive.
Yeah, but he's back being president. He's back being president. Maybe. Okay. I'm sorry. I got on the topic and I didn't mean to. We'll read it. We'll address this issue later.
Okay. Literally this issue.
I know. Sorry, James. We're totally gonna get off. I didn't mean to lose half the audience. Carrie experienced life in Krypton, whereas Kal-El didn't. Okay, we're not talking about Supergirl just yet, Kenny. You're gonna have to wait a little bit, so don't get too antsy. Because I know Supergirl is your favorite thing to talk about. I also love Supergirl. So let's see. You're getting an upgrade to your internet, and in the green room, you were talking to upper management.
Yes, the green room.
Yeah, who told you I was finishing the book last night, and then upper management took a look at it. I mean, this is a pretty chonky beast, and she was looking at it and wasn't complaining or saying it's too heavy, but she was saying, she was saying to you, I don't know how you guys can read these things. I can't read them. It's too hard for me to read them. So I'm wondering if she has a problem like I do with manga because it's backwards, and she's been a prose reader all her life, whereas I've been a comic book and prose reader. So maybe tonight I'll pick like a floppy or something, and we'll just, or the first story in this, and see if we can figure out, like she literally said, I just can't read them. I don't know how you read them.
Well, I told her neither of these are new reader friendly. Nothing we're about to talk about, in my opinion, is new reader friendly. It's really heavy on the action in each arc, I would say, and we'll get to it as a discussion point later. But there's just a lot of characters, and they are like weaving in and out of the plot fast and furious. So I wouldn't hand this to anyone who doesn't have baseline familiarity cross DC, to be honest. And I also think the Batman Superman parallels, you could appreciate them a lot more when you know those characters very well. So I'd say this one's not new reader friendly, and maybe like starting with something that's a bit simpler. Maybe she would like Sheets.
Oh, that's a good idea.
This is the one a lot of my friends who don't read comics but kind of have a vague interest but do read prose, that one almost always kind of brings people in.
Great idea. Okay.
Something especially that's like a self-contained story. That one has 3, but there's other things you could think about, like whatever she's reading prose wise.
Yeah.
Thinking about what the tone is. But I think people like really benefit from starting with graphic novels that are following like a single character, single story, starting from the beginning. And the nice thing about Sheets is not too text heavy. The art's really good. But I would never hand this to anyone who's not like an avid reader.
Yeah, you're right. This is super action heavy, whereas Sheets is not.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I am glad that I brought you into the discussion. Yarne, I love Lock and Key so much. Is it an important book for Jess and Jess?
Yeah, I like Lock and Key. I haven't
I
read it
love
in a really long time.
I haven't either, but I feel like I've read it at least 2 or 3 times.
Is the show okay? So I did not watch the show because
Me
I was
either.
like, I want to reread the series before the show, which is basically a nail in the coffin of me ever watching the show because I struggle to reread, even though I really want to do more of that this year for several reasons. But did the show continue, or I guess this is more a question for the chat? Does the show continue past that initial season it had? What's the deal with that? Because I think it was kind of popular, actually.
Hi, Vanessa. Good to have you here. So good to have you back in the chat and in Discord and everything. Nice to see you. Why not start with Days of Sand? That's a good recommendation also. That was my book of the year like 3 years ago or 2 years ago. That's the book about the photographer that is taking pictures of the Dust Bowl. Yeah. Yeah, either one of those would be good. And there's my Discord. Thank you, James, where you will see Vanessa and others. To get us off topic. Okay, good. Phew.
Excellent. Whew.
I also picked up Silver Surfer by Slott and Allred. Just found it on the shelf and got it free with a trade. Pretty chuffed with that. Chuffed
That's
to bits.
That's a crazy deal.
Yeah.
You only purchased a trade and you got a whole Omni?
And got it free with a trade. Yeah.
I love the art in that book.
Oh, I do too. I love the story. I feel like I've covered it a couple times at least. I know it was on my book of the year list when I read it, whatever year that was. I feel like that was it was released in the pandemic years, like 2020, 21, because it went out of print really fast.
Yep. Yeah, I got it on the reprint, which was not too long ago. It was like last year, the year before.
Yeah. Good for you, Brown Mist. We both love that book. So yeah, I would say it's important. I love it. The art is fantastic. The writing is genuinely creepy. There's several super creepy moments in that book that sort of still stick with me. Yeah. So yeah, I would say it's important. Sure. I don't think these guys are interested.
It's just too many things to check, James.
Yeah. Sorry, I traded in some books and the value covered the other.
Okay.
That's cool.
Well, that's still great. But
yeah.
I was like, what store were you going to? By using the word chuffed, I'm assuming you're not anywhere near me, so that wouldn't matter.
No, I forget. I feel like Brown Mist. I don't think you're from the UK. Are you, Brown Mist? I feel like you're from one of the other annexed territories back during the British.
Australia?
Oh, Australia. Okay.
Cool.
Thank you. The Allred Marble art book is in the previews. I backed the Kickstarter, so I hope I get it soon because I think they're getting close. So we talked about possibly seeing if we could get Maddie on for the next show. And we could talk about Sinners too, because I'm also going to see Sinners on Tuesday, as I was telling Jess in the green room, that we are going. I talked my movie buddy into seeing it. I'm not asking for a big discussion of it yet because I haven't seen it. So, but we could talk about it. And Maddie went to see it. If she's open on that day, and I know she's got a busy schedule.
Yeah, I'll message you.
Yeah, we're reading the second half of this book. Do you think that you can just drop in on the second half of this book? It's not even really second half, second 2/3. It's the 2/3 left. Could she just jump in?
Probably, but she also reads at superhuman speed. And I'm pretty sure I'm 99% sure she's read the initial Supergirl arc that we're going to cover for this
Mm.
because I've discussed the other Supergirl one that we're about to jump into for June's show. So I think she'll be fine. It's just a matter of if she's free or not. But she'd love to chat Sinners. She saw Sinners and Thunderbolts like the same week, so I'm behind her. Still need to watch Thunderbolts, as you
Yeah.
know.
I saw Thunderbolts yesterday, and I enjoyed it a lot. I always sorry. I took my movie buddy to the show as a late birthday present to her, and I don't get much out of her after those movies. I know she's seen all of them like I have because we've gone to at least half the Marvel movies together.
Yeah.
Their spouses don't. So we don't get into a real in-depth discussion. I'm just like, did you enjoy it? And she's like, yeah, I did enjoy it. And then there's no.
You need discussion questions like at the back of a book. It's like this group discussion guide. They need to pass that out.
Yeah, like when I saw Thor: Love and Thunder, and you don't need to all tell me how much you hate Thor: Love and Thunder. I don't care. The point is that I saw it with Tyler Blunt, and afterwards we were talking about it completely. Like,
yeah, I like
breaking it down, talking about this part, that part. Also getting, we were getting milkshakes, so that helped. I mean, the mood was high because of milkshakes. Let's see. Whoops. Loraza. Hello.
Hello.
Now, Munin, actually, this leads into a good idea that I should be doing maybe this week. Think about picking up the Kingdom Come Compact Edition. Is it worth it? Munin had this idea where I could find out what compact editions have been released and then show what they look like so that people, for newbies, they can see what the art's like. In like Kingdom Come, I have an absolute, so I could show that. I hesitate to recommend compact edition because the art is super incredible, and that's where you want an absolute of it. Although I don't even know if the absolute's in print or not. James, is it in print?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think there's a great story there too, but to me, that the main selling point for Kingdom Come is the art, and so you would want a bigger one. But I love these compact editions because, like I said, friends who are newer, it's expensive to take a gamble on something, and so I've randomly, if I want certain orders to be over a certain amount, I'll throw one in so I can hand it to a friend because I think they're cheap, they're cost effective, they give you a whole story, they're good for new folks. But this is one that surprises me that it would be in compact edition, not just because of the art, but because Kingdom Come is not really a story you want to hand someone who's a new reader. And my understanding of the compact editions is like that's their target audience. Other people pick them up, of course, but that was kind of a weird choice to make it a compact edition. Other than it's just very popular, of course.
Yeah, Vanessa beating James to the punch. Thank you, Vanessa. It's on Vanessa's Amazon wish list. That's good to know. So Munin, if you just want to read it to see if it's an interesting story, then yeah, it's worth it because they're cheap. They're really cheap, and you could read the story and see how great it is because it's by Mark Waid, so it's going to be great. And maybe the idea is if you like it, you can get it in absolute form. I know where you are. Things are exponentially more expensive than they are here in the States. But if you're asking, is it worth it? Yeah, it's cheap and you can read a great story and you can marvel. There we go. I will do that and I can always upgrade. Boom. Then you should get it and read it. That's a really good way to get introduced to that. I feel like Munin might be more of a DC Marvel reader from our chats. So yeah, that now that makes me want to do that video even more, because I can get people to, they're so cheap, people can just say, well, I'll see if I like it or not. And if they don't like it, well, okay, there's $8, $10. Well, if we're talking $10, that's real money. Let's say you got it. Let's say you traded in something and got it free. That's a good way to do it. Okay, good. I've got several ideas in my head, Munin. Thank you. Yeah, do it and you can upgrade. Right, exactly. Hello, RJ. Marvel and other publishers. Anything but DC, really. I figured one publisher with a huge history was enough.
That's fair, yeah.
That's
Take your time.
That's probably smart. It's probably really smart. Not like I did, where I want everything from everybody. Well, that's a good idea. $70 marked down from $100. Kingdom Come is on. Oh, is that the deluxe edition? Absolute Treatment. It's on Cheap Graphic Novels. Oh, Absolute Kingdom Come. Okay. Well, you can, if you're out there, this doesn't apply to Munin because he is from Europe. But if you're out there and you're on the fence, those are some cheap prices. But let's not forget where you can really find cheap prices. And that, of course, is at Organic Price Books with code Omnidog to save $2 off your order. And big savings, 5% off shipping 4 more books together with the code OmniDog6. Yes, I take advantage of that. I'm putting together an order and I'm waiting for me to figure out what the 4th book is because I want to get 5% off. Because that's real money, man. So
we help you decide.
No, to help me get 5% off.
No, I know, to pick your 4th book.
Oh, wait, what are we talking about?
What are you between? You said you needed to pick a 4th.
Oh, well, I think the first 3 are easy. I want to get the first 3 Batman by Snyder and Capullo.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just trying to think of what else is coming out. Maybe it hasn't come out yet. Maybe it's what's coming out. Is this current? Let's see. Yeah. I'm looking at what I did with Final Crisis. I do need that deluxe. I'm looking at what books are coming out that I did with Dom and Webhead for Essential Editions. Yeah, I feel like I too often get books like immediately, and I really shouldn't be doing that. I need to slow down on that because I'm getting too much that I just can't even read it. I can't get a chance to catch up.
But remember, for every trade you buy, you're investing in an Omni for one of your viewers.
Oh, you're saying the sacrificial part of my life.
Yeah, it's altruistic.
Well, that's true.
I'm just kidding. I totally get that. I was there at different points for sure in collecting. I'm not there right now, but I'm sure I'll be there again.
I just realized there's another trade of Immortal Thor by Al Ewing coming out, and I'm like, what? Yeah. I feel like I might have started that, and I was going to stop buying Marvel trades once the series got finished. But I already started Immortal Thor. I think it's the 4th book, so I've already got 3 trades. So I might as well keep going and make sure you guys get an omnibus. I know you're getting an omnibus of Fantastic Four by Ryan North because I just bought volume 5. But I don't regret that at all. That's going to be up there in my books of the year. That whole series is fantastic. I think it's
check it out.
Yeah, I've read. I'm not the hugest Fantastic Four fan, but I've read Hickman's. I've read Stan Lee's through. I do know all the issues 1 through 100, like I do with most of Marvel. I've read Mark Waid's, read Mark Miller's, I read Mac Fractions, so that's 4. And then so Ryan North will be the 5th one of Fantastic Four. I haven't read Dan Slott's yet. Although I think I read the first book and it was good.
I want to check out another run before the movie comes out, because I know that anytime a Fantastic Four movie comes out, I do feel like it's a little bit cursed, but I have hopes. I'm hopeful, and I want to check out one run that I haven't read before that, so maybe that's what I'll check, see if the library has any of the Ryan North stuff. I'm sure they do. Oh,
Yeah.
and now I have Hoopla. OmniCat found a county in our state that allows you to get a digital library card no matter where you live in the state. And they have Hoopla. So I am now a Hoopla girly. I've been a Hoopla girly for 6 weeks. And I bitch about not being having Hoopla all the time. And have I used my Hoopla in these 6 weeks I've had it? No, I have not.
Yeah.
I need to get it together, but that's what I'll do. I'll add it right now, actually.
What's your limit? How many are you allowed to check out?
I don't know. It's a good question. Probably.
Yeah, you want to know that.
I think 10 out of 10 a month.
Man, mine got yeah, that's probably right. Mine got cut to 5 a month. And I haven't been able to use it because I needed to renew my card, and because I'm not a resident, I guess the way it works.
Oh, this is the one where you have to drive to the other county.
Yeah,
right?
and so I just maybe next week I can do it because there's a lot of stuff I want to check out on Hoopla. So okay. Yeah, I do need to do that.
I'm borrowing it now. Maybe I'll find out what my limit is this month. They have 1 through 4 on my Hoopla for the Ryan North. That's what.
Oh, good.
Let me add them. Maybe I'll have it read next time we chat.
I do own that, Belgian Ellen, but I haven't read it yet.
Oh, okay.
I do own that, and I think I'm supposed to get John Byrne's The Thing Omni because it apparently is a nice companion to that. Okay, Brian, thank you for being here. Kiddo down for a nap and run some errands. Have a nice day. Have fun. Take a nap too. Do whatever you want. It's cool. AS says, Taylor Talks Comics video on the EC Weird Science book talked to me into ordering it through OPB. Would make a good 4th. That's like a really big book, right? I wish they had come out with Tales from the Crypt or something weird.
Ooh, yeah.
That would be good. That's what I would want in oversize. But yeah, the Weird Science book, that's a good 4th choice. The Thing by Byrne is great. Okay, good. Just ordered The Thing Omnibus myself. Nice. Okay. I'm not passing on Slots because I own it all. So I will be reading it, but I will read Byrne's FF because that means I get to buy another book, and that's The Thing Omnibus, apparently. So I need that gets my dopamine going. Is the Ryan North FF an anthology series? I feel like I've heard it's not one cohesive story. It's individual stories, which is why I like it. There is sort of a through line, but you can I like it because they're just one issue, and you're all. It's not one of those 6-part things, and that's one reason I like it, because you can just read a story at a time, and it's awesome. The first story. I haven't heard enough people say this. Shame on you that it made me I got choked up at the end of the very first story right out of the box. Of course, I cry at puppy commercials, so that's mean. But it's really good, Brown Mist, and that's an interesting. If your concern is that it's not one cohesive story, that's an interesting concern because. It's just a bunch of individual stories. There may be some 2-parters in there. I can't really remember, but it's still very much worth it. especially Alicia Masters gets like her character gets a lot of page time, and she gets to be a more fully formed character than just the blind girl dating / married to the Thing. So she's got a real personality in this, and I think he does a really good job with her. The first story is amazing. I really love it. Let's see. Whoops, I got. Oh, I see. Love Earth 1, Earth 2, Jess, but you can't stay. Okay. I get it. And here's Jewish Dragons. How's it going, Jewish Dragons? Good to see you.
And Jewish Dragons, scale of 1 to 10. How excited are you for the live action Lilo and Stitch? Because I think that's been your icon for a while, right? Stitch.
Boy, I haven't seen that since it came out.
Whoa, Jess.
What? No, I haven't seen it since it came out.
Oh, okay. I was like, okay, we have a problem.
No.
I was really skeptical because I not to be a wet blanket, but I cannot get behind all these live action Disney adaptations. Like, do something original. And also the animation was fine. Like, there have been a few that have made a couple of different choices when they adapted to live action that I'm like, okay, that was nice, but none of them feel necessary. But I saw an interview with this little girl who's about to play Lilo in the live action one. She was so cute, and I was sold just by her interview. I have to go see this. But I love Lilo and Stitch. It's I love found family stories. I think the space stuff and the Hawaii stuff are things you don't see a ton, like mixed together, of course. So I'm really excited about it, but also could go terribly because some of the other ones have. So we'll see.
I don't think I've seen one since. I don't think I've seen any since Beauty and the Beast. That
was a long time ago. It was like one of the first ones.
That was an event in my family because Beauty and the Beast. I don't know. Kelly's probably 3 when it came out, 2 or 3, but she grew up as that being her favorite movie.
Yeah,
and so Patty and I, of course, have also seen it 125 times, and it's. She was quoting from it when she was like 3. She'd run into the room and go, "I say we kill the beast." So, as one of the mob people, she loved the beast. But so it was a family event. So we had to go see it, and I liked it. It was a good one. I see people saying, "Oh, Emma." Which Emma is this? Emma Watson can't sing, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I didn't pick up on any of that. I just had fun. So this is why I stay off social media. The one time I go on it, I see Emma Watson can't sing. Well, come on. It was good. It was fun. It was awesome. So everybody just relax.
Yeah, as a kid, that's how I was with The Little Mermaid. I haven't seen the live action Little Mermaids on my list, but the design for Flounder really freaked me out in the trailer. I was like very off put. And when I was a kid, I had like this flounder, like stuffed animal. I went everywhere with that thing. So I was a little nervous, but I need to watch it because I've heard some people really like it. Like if you're a Little Mermaid fan. So I want to watch that one.
Wait, what freaks you out? The live action?
The live action Flounder. Yeah, just from the trailer, I was like, I don't know about this.
And you've got an emotional attachment to Flounder. Yeah. Okay. I haven't seen it either.
All right. Oh, okay, good. I thought something tragic happens to Flounder in the live action version. You were trying to prepare me.
Oh, no. Who, me? No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, he gets roasted at this Hawaiian dinner by Lilo and Stitch, and he's served up. So.
That's a crossover I actually do not want to happen. But as an adult, I do love Beauty and the Beast. Probably of the animated ones, it's edged its way above Little Mermaid as an adult.
Which one?
So I get it, Beauty and the Beast. And I thought the live action. I agree, Emma Watson isn't the best singer, but also I just did not care.
I didn't care.
More distracting was, this is a deep cut. Who knows who of our viewers will have ventured into these waters. But I'm rewatching Dawson's Creek, and there is an episode at the end of the first season where Katie Holmes' character Joey enters a beauty pageant so she can get a scholarship, and her talent is singing. And during her solo, which she does a full like 2.5 minutes of the 45-minute episode is this solo, everyone is watching her enraptured. That's the moment Dawson realizes he has romantic feelings for her. And I am so sorry to disrespect Katie Holmes, who's a very good actress, but she's not the best singer. Like, it's almost unbelievable. And the fact that they let it go on for 2.5 minutes felt really disrespectful, if I'm honest. So that was
What was
worse
the song?
than Emma Watson. I can't remember.
From Beauty and the Beast?
No. Katie Holmes and Dawson's Creek. That song lasts 2.5 minutes. And she is worse.
What song?
That's what I need to look up. I don't know. It was some solo she was singing for a beauty pageant. I kind of PTSD blocked it out of my mind, Jess, because it was so embarrassing. I was getting secondhand embarrassment. It just kept going for a full 2.5 minutes.
But you don't know if it's.
I need to look up.
I am confuzzable. Is it from Beauty and the Beast, or you're just thinking of beauty content?
I'm thinking of actresses who are not the best singers, but we're supposed to believe they're the best. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay, yeah, I get secondhand cringe. Yeah, I feel. Yeah, I can. I know what you're saying.
I think it's. I said On My Own. I think it's a Was it Les Mis? Maybe. Oh, I'll look it up.
Okay. Oh, here's Crazed Cassowary. How's it going, Crazed?
Hey. On My Own from Les Mis is what she sings, and it's 2.5 minutes, and it's very painful.
They let it go for all 2.5 minutes.
All 2.5 minutes, and honestly, it was more embarrassing than Emma Watson's singing in Beauty and the Beast, which was, I would say, serviceable. It was fine. It wasn't as bad as people were making it. It also, she's not meant to be a singer. Two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, well, I can tell you right now, she has a better voice than I do. I don't have a 2-note range. I have like a 1-note range. Tale as old as time.
Oh, God.
It'd be good in a punk band. Tale as old as time. I'll say the least. Beauty and the Beast.
Disney Channel used to remix, like put out albums of remixed versions of like classic Disney songs, and they would get rock bands and stuff to do them. So I can't remember which ones from Beauty and the Beast were covered, but I'll send you a playlist sometime.
I'll listen to them.
Yeah.
I love fun stuff. I have a very much I love that movie. Yeah, that's until Mulan came along, that was my favorite Disney movie, but Mulan's my all-time favorite Disney movie.
Mulan's great. That's my sister's favorite. She really loves, this is a hot take, she loves Mulan 2 more than Mulan 1. She loves them both. But
there's a Mulan 2?
There is, yeah. Mm-hmm. Like an animated one that followed.
And is it with the same actress who did Mulan, Ming Na?
It's a good question. Let me look it up. I really don't remember.
Because I remember Aladdin 2 came out, and it was Tan Castellaneta or whoever the voice is for The Simpsons doing the genie. It was supposed to be released as a Saturday morning cartoon thing, but they put it out on video, and it was awful.
The voices are Ming Na Wen as Mulan, and BD Wong as Shang. Lucy Liu does a voice. May. Was she in the first one? Sandra Oh, Ting Ting. Harvey Weinstein, Yao. George
Harvey
Takei does a voice.
Harvey Weinstein.
I think.
Harvey Firestein. Fierstein.
Yeah.
I think Harvey Weinstein.
Very much the wrong guy. No Harvey Weinstein in Mulan too. It's safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Michelle Kwan does a voice of a shopkeeper. Okay, I need to rewatch this actually. It came out in 2004.
She's the ice skater, right?
Oh yeah, I loved her when I was a kid.
These are a lot of good voices. I didn't even know it was a thing. I'll watch that.
They're preparing for their wedding. Shang and Mulan are suddenly sent off on a secret mission. Mushu starts to meddle, and a surprise attack by Mongolians doesn't help either.
Who's Mushu in this?
Mark Mosley, so that's a recast.
I
don't know who this person voices otherwise. Mark Mosley.
I remember he was the kicker for the Washington Redskins back in the 80s. Sorry, that was their name.
That's a deep cut. He voices the mirror in Shrek 2. Oh, that's a crew member in I Spy. What an interesting
I
Does
wonder
a
how.
lot of like cartoon, Fairly Odd Parents. He did some voices for.
Okay.
It's kind of random stuff. Shrek is for sure the biggest thing on here. Besides that,
Okay. Well,
that was a fun
I'm
rabbit hole.
interested now. What's that?
Oh yeah, other
I'm
people are too. I'm glad people are excited about live action Lilo and Stitch.
Vanessa, I don't get any Superman only because I'm saving my spending money until I have all. Yeah, she's shooting for all Batman omnis and absolutes. Then I'll start collecting
Wow.
Superman and other stuff.
Okay.
Back
Methodical.
Kato, welcome. The Batman Superman omnis are pretty fun. Okay, maybe I'll give 2 a shot. I'll read 2 online on the pad, the iPad. I own both of these, Larasa, and I've had the first one for it feels like 10 years. So I definitely want to read this. This came. Go
The
ahead.
art is cool. The art is cool.
Yeah, and it's got like it's interesting paper too. That it's got like I don't know, decal cut or something. The paper's interesting. It feels like a diary almost. It's
Oh yeah.
jagged edges. What is that? What is the real word for that? But it's heavy paper that's like I would say heavy matte.
Decal.
I did say it right.
Yeah, you did it right. Deckled edges. Okay, I'm gonna have to add this. This looks great. Thank you, Larissa.
It's got 2 books. The sequel or second part just came out.
Wait, is it on Hoopla? Now I'm really gonna be using it. Please, please, please. Cursed. Yeah, this looks great. Yes, it's on Hoopla. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
You'll miss the deckled edge excitement.
I know, but then if I love it, I can own the deckled edges
Fair.
forever and
Fair.
ever. This is great because I was telling Jess I've been struggling with my comics reading for sure this year. So I'm really excited about some of these being loaded on my phone. Excellent. Thank you.
You can read comics on your phone?
Yeah, but sometimes I also read on the computer. I have a tablet, but honestly, I don't use it enough. I probably should. I should probably grow up and get a bigger screen.
Come on, grow up, Jess.
I don't know if it works with Hoopla, but it has the button where you can cast. I will cast and read on my TV and just do like this with my phone, like it's a controller.
Oh, I was wondering what you meant by cast. That's a young
like,
term I'm not familiar with. Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, though?
Yeah, Tyler Blunt did that when he was here. I was like, how did you do that, dude?
DC, when it was back in my day, when it was DC Universe and not DC Infinite, back in my day, they used to have like a TV app version. So I could just open the app on the TV and then use the arrow. I think you can cast with the new one, but they took away the TV app version. It was probably too expensive to keep on the shelf, but it was very cool because I'd just like lounge and be watching TV, but it would be reading comics on the TV. Those were the days.
Cat in one arm, cup of tea in the other.
Coffee, dog in one arm, coffee in the other.
Okay. Dog, sorry.
I mean, I could steal a cat, I suppose, but Neville wouldn't like it very much. I've warmed up to them for sure.
I do want to read this sooner rather than later. Let's see. Okay, Doug's trolling here. That is not going to be my 4th book from OPB. Hut Destroyer. I was catching up on my reading. Then my pre-orders came in. Good problems, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Freddie is probably caught up on that. His favorite writer is Al Ewing, so I imagine Freddie is probably caught up on that. COVID trained us to get as fast as possible. It's not our fault, Jess.
Yeah.
That behavior dates pre-COVID.
Predated.
Yeah, that was 2016's Jess's training. Well, you're getting it, that Omni. I can almost guarantee it. He's coming here to a con in June. I'm going to get some floppies signed. Nice. Just ordered the thing. Yes. I got to thank you guys. I've had this Omni and Volume 2 for years and never had the motivation to read it. Did we help you read it? Because we're going to read the rest of it next month.
And the story that kicks off the next half of this is one of my favorites in this run. So I'm very excited.
Yeah, and
There's no way you didn't read that, Jess. Although, in your defense, if you had read that, I have trouble believing you'd forget it. So we're going to find out.
Yeah, I'll have to look at it. I can't even remember. I don't think I collected this in floppy. I think I might have had the first absolute of this, and that's where I read it. The first stories that we're going to cover.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, thank you. Hi, Jeffrey. Amazing. Starting my FF read with Epic Volume 3 and 4 coming in the mail on Tuesday. Exciting. Very nice. 9 out of 10 excitement. To read this book or for Lilo and Stitch?
Or live action Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah, I'm actually a little bit behind, shockingly.
Or to rewatch Katie Holmes' painful solo in Dawson's Creek Season 1 finale. There's no telling what the excitement's for.
Yeah, actually, I feel like I caught part of Lilo and Stitch a couple months ago, and I was watching it, and I was like, this is kind of a lot of real world stuff in here. This is kind of a bummer. But I have committed to watching Mulan 2.
I mean, to be fair, they're all a bummer. There's ne'er a Disney animated movie where a parent's not dead, and then sometimes we witness their death, like Lion King. Traumatized for life. What was it?
Yeah.
Bambi. Oh, that messed me up.
Same.
I only watched it once as a kid. I also only watched Snow White once, not because it messed me up in that way, but there's the scene with the witch where she's cackling by a cliff and it's like lightning and rain, and something about that wigged me out when I was like 5, and my parents had bought those VHSs, which were very expensive. It was like $30 or $25 for a VHS, which doesn't sound maybe as much now, but it definitely was in the early 90s.
Yeah.
And I think they were probably sad that I refused. They would try multiple times. What about this one? Probably because they were tired of me constantly watching The Little Mermaid. And I'd be like, no, I don't want to watch it. And it was just because of that scene. So I need to face my fears. I'm old enough now.
Yeah, have you been able to see it since then?
I haven't, no. I mean, I know the gist. It's like some dwarves, this lady, she's asleep, a prince. That's kind of it. Poison apple.
Right.
That's the vibe. But I did have a dopey doll that somebody got me from the Disney store that I really liked. So.
A what doll?
A dopey.
Dopey. Oh, okay.
Continuing my tradition as a child of owning dolls of things. I remember I told you I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons, but that lady bought me that Bart doll from Burger King. So I randomly had a Bart doll, wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons, randomly had a dopey doll, was terrified of Snow White.
Okay, what the music feature convinced me. Maybe it's Hoopla that he's excited.
No, there's no music on that.
You can rent music on Hoopla.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, movies, music. Yeah, it's not just books.
Sorry, what? I saw audiobooks and ebooks. Oh, there is movie and TV.
Yeah.
And whatever a binge passes. Oh, I see music. Wow.
Yeah.
But does that count towards your whatever limit you were talking about?
Borrow, yeah. That's
rough. Okay, this is all good to know. Thank you for this information.
Wow. Oh, I never saw Cruella. Is Cruella good? That's got the other Emma Stone. I think she looked good as Cruella.
I didn't watch that one.
My colleague's daughter named her cat Stitch.
Oh, yeah, it's a great name.
It is. Oh, Maleficent 1 and 2 plus Cruella.
I did see Maleficent, the first one. I kind of forgot they made a second one. I remember liking it, but I only watched it the one time in the theater.
Was that Angelina Jolie?
It was. She's probably in the second one too, but I've never seen it. No, wait. Hold up. I think. Wait, is Maleficent? Yeah, she's in the second one too. Okay.
Well, I
Wait.
like her as an actress.
No.
Wait, what happened?
Hold on.
Did they recast
I don't
her?
know. Let me come back to this. You can keep going. Somebody in the chat will figure it out. Am I mixed up? Maleficent 2. Is Maleficent 2 called Mistress of Evil? Mistress.
This is actually one time when I'm behind in the chat that it's actually bad, because usually I know what people are talking about, but we're so far behind. L.A. Mulan ruined me.
What?
What's L.A.?
Oh, live action.
Oh, live action.
Dude, me too, and I want to talk about it.
Oh, okay.
They
I
took
didn't know
out
there
a
was live
key
action.
romance that I root for. Then they teased a different romance that did not happen. And ultimately, it was fine as like an action war movie, but it sort of lacked charm. That was one that I think came out during the pandemic too, because I remember it was one of the first ones where Disney was like, you can rent it or buy it or something, and they were charging $30, and everyone was like, no, but it was like you would pay that if you went with 3 people to go see it in the theater. But either way, I was not a fan of that either.
I love that movie so much. I would never want to see it. I love the music so much. The music I really, really love. And I love Ming-Na as Mulan. And I love the fact that they got the voice of Rocky from Rocky and Bullwinkle, June Foray. That was her last voiceover as the grandmother in Mulan.
I did not know that.
Oh, I think she was like 90 or something.
That's such an iconic character. When I was doing case management, I had this one client who was older, just really needed help engaging in pretty much any daily activity. Wonderful woman, and overconfident about her abilities. And what she was living here where I live, much chiller city, and she had a lot of family support. But her sister, who was I think 10 or 15 years younger and more mobile, lived in New York City. And so she was like, I'm going to move to New York City. And what I kept picturing is that scene with the grandma, because that's what my client kind of looked like, where she carries the cricket across the road and manages to survive. Like, yeah, you can do it. But like all the cars, all the traffic, everything gets crashed around her. That's what I imagine should this client go to the big city. And I think about it all the time, and I see that woman every once in a while, like at community things, and I'm like, it's good you stayed here, because I think it would have gone very poorly. But who knows?
Were you a fan of Seinfeld at all?
No, I haven't really seen much Seinfeld.
Oh, there's an episode where George has the high score on the Frogger machine at some pizzeria, and
Frogger.
they're getting, I forget what's happening, but they're getting, maybe the guy's getting ready to sell the business or something. And of course, this is George's major claim to fame, that he has the high score on that Frogger machine. So they get like 450 cable extension cords so that they can move it to someplace else where they can plug it in. And they're he's going across traffic, dodging traffic like in Frogger. It's so funny to see him make the moves in Frogger. And of course, they get to the other side and unplug it to plug it in someplace safe, and the score's wiped out, which is anyway.
That took me back, though. I used to love Frogger.
God. Frogger was fun. I remember, I just remember that scene where he's crossing the street like in Frogger. Minions fans, yeah, I loved Despicable Me. I loved the first one anyway.
Minions.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, did you watch the opening ceremony of the Paris Olympics this past summer?
And that was all I watched for some reason.
Okay.
I'm not a big Olympics fan, but we were at a friend's house and they were like watching the Olympics. I'm like, okay, I don't have anything else to do. We're sort of captured here at our friend's house. So yeah, I watched the entire thing.
So the Minions movie, the newest one, was coming out that same summer. Had just come out. I can't remember, this past summer. And I did not know the company is based in France that makes the movies. So
Oh.
I thought it was just like a random promotion for Minions, which you've watched the rest of the opening ceremony. Not the tone of the rest of it. It was like there were like guillotines, and then suddenly there were minions in a submarine, and it was a wild time. But it turns out the company that makes those movies is based in France. Makes more
Oh.
sense. But I was
I-
like, wow, what did the minions have to pay to get in here?
As I was watching that, we got deeper and deeper into it. I was like, I picked out the moments where I knew the internet was going to explode at.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, this isn't going to go over well with this crowd. Oh, that's not going to go over well with this crowd. So yeah, that was funny.
It was bold, that's for sure. But it must have
Bold.
been my coworker, who's American. She's from Florida. She went
Is
to
that
an art.
American? Really? Florida?
It's its own subculture. I know.
Yeah.
We're all our own subculture, though, if we're honest with each other. But she did her fine arts program in Paris, and so she met a guy there. Now they're engaged, happy engagement. So she would split her time a lot, and so she was there and got to do a lot of things. But with the opening ceremony, it's like you could only see the part that was right in front of you. So it was very cool on TV because you got to see so much of the city. Like, it was really amazing.
It was spread out.
But if you were watching it, you basically were waiting, saw 5 seconds, and then it was kind of over. So there's pros and cons either way, but it definitely was bold. I don't think anyone can take that away from them for sure.
I'll say my favorite part, and I can't remember how it happened, was when the colors of the French flag went up in
By the bridge.
Yeah, the bridge.
Yeah, that was really nice. That was cool.
The colors of the French flag went up, and it was raining, right? It was pouring rain.
It did rain. Yeah. I liked the heavy metal band outside whatever castle that was. That was the guillotine scene, I think. There was flames. I was like, wow. It really was rad. That was very cool.
Oh, my kid chose my icon years ago, and I've never bothered to change it. But I met one of the animators, and now I'm a fan too. Probably go see the live action movie. It looks cute.
I'm excited for it.
I have a 7-year-old son, so I have good excuse to go to Lilo and Stitch, as I love watching myself, and I get to introduce it to him. Fingers crossed he likes it.
I love that. I hope he likes it too.
Be right back. Going to brew some fresh hot tea.
It's probably done by now.
Punk, that was amazing. Oh yeah, I can sing. I'd be good at leading a punk band. I have that one note that I can rage out on. They still do that. They just did punk rock Disney.
Oh yeah, the Disney albums. I need to send you a couple examples. I think your daughter probably would have heard some of them. Did you guys have the Disney Channel at any point?
A Disney Channel. Well, we were on DirecTV forever.
I bet you had it.
So, what were some shows?
For her age, I think she's closer to a little younger than my sister. What were my sister's shows? Even mine were like Even Stevens was one of them. Lizzie McGuire, that was closer to my sister's age. The Lizzie McGuire show.
I think my daughter was older than that. I remember watching that when I was taking care of our friend's daughter, who was. I took care of her from like until the time she was like 6. I'd go over there and I'd miss her mom with her, and I think that's where. So I think.
Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, Hannah Montana, Proud Family.
I totally remember Even Stevens.
Kim Possible was great.
I didn't see that.
Oh, That's So Raven.
Lizzie McGuire was good. Even Stevens. Sweet Life, I watched a bunch of. Oh no, she did watch that because the first when she got Patty gave her Patty's car when she got her license, like her senior year, her license plate was "Yay Me."
Oh,
so
cute.
That's Brenda Song's catchphrase in that. So yeah, that is who I watched that with.
Okay, yeah, then she's probably seen him.
Yeah.
That's So Raven is probably one of the most popular shows that they've ever had, with Raven Simone.
Mhm.
Wizards of Waverly Place with Selena Gomez, Ant Farm with China McClain, who was on the Black Lightning TV show. Good Luck Charlie. And then people have mentioned it, but the Lilo and Stitch Disney Channel show, like the cartoon show, was really good. A couple people mentioned that they liked that a lot in the chat. So, anyways, they in between the episodes, they would play the music video of these like covers of the Disney songs. Sometimes it was the Disney Channel stars recovering the song, and sometimes it was like famous bands. So, highly recommend.
But they
Sounds
don't
like
have
they're
the
still doing
Omnidog covers it in punk rock.
No, but you could still, honestly, that could save their ratings if you could just give them a call. So, did you see the season finale of Dawson's Creek season 1? I'm better than Katie Holmes. That's your audition.
I definitely could do that. They just did punk rock Disney. I could totally do that.
Yeah, you could do that.
Kelly was way into Pocahontas.
That's a really beautiful one, animation. See, Pocahontas is the reason we don't need live action. The animation is so beautiful.
And the music in that is super great. I really liked it. Agreed, Jess Mulan was amazing. Mulan 2, was it mediocre though? If it had Ming Na in it, Ming Na makes everything better.
It probably was, but if you're a child who just keeps rewatching the tape over and over, you probably do develop a love for it, which is what happened to my sister, who also did not like live action Mulan. I distinctly remember her texting me after and being like, that was not great.
Yeah, I definitely am not going to see that unless it's Ming Na being Mulan.
It's not. The actress was fine. Don't want to shade on her.
Yeah, The Incredibles is probably the best Disney movie, in my opinion. Incredibles. I've seen 1 and 2, and I agree. It's great.
It's a good one.
Here's one that I still don't like that I haven't watched it, and that's Tangled.
That is an awesome one. A fun fact about Tangled, I think it's fun anyways. It's just to show you it's a crowd pleaser. I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, which was kindergarten through 12th grade, and the teenage boys were not easy to find movies for when the shared audience was a 5-year-old kindergartner. And weirdly, of all the movies, including Cars, which you would think might be one that's kind of like it could appeal both ways, of all the movies, the one that they would almost always vote for when we had like a rainy day and we had to do everybody in the gym and not just groups was Tangled. It was a universal crowd pleaser. It's so good. I think Flynn is a really good like Disney prince too, because some of them have no personalities or stories whatsoever. They just are like exist to be a hero, but he has like his own personality. She has her own personality. The little animal, the iguana, was that what it was? Is very cool. It's not an iguana, it's something else. That's a great one. You need to watch Tangled. It's so good.
That's that and Dr. Sleep are like the 2 top movies I want to see. I know they're a little different.
Mean, what better double header? What 2 movies go better together?
That's what happens at the Omnidog Theater, the double billing.
Love it.
Is it a musical? Or just
there's music. Yeah.
I mean, where they break into song and stuff?
They do break into song. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My other favorite movie, and it's got Amy Adams in it, was Enchanted.
Oh yeah, that's a really funny movie.
That was so clever and so well done. I loved Enchanted. I've seen that a couple times.
That was great. And see, that's the energy I was hoping for from that movie that you loved, that I walked out of the theater for with Julia Roberts. What was it? Julia Roberts, right?
Julia Roberts.
You know, we've talked about this like 3 different times. I can never remember the name of it. It's
Mystic Pizza?
No, I love Please. It's this Mystic Pizza is one of the best things to come out of '88 besides yourself. Yours truly. Okay, let me see.
Wait, what? A Julia Roberts movie? I'm not. I'm not really drawn.
We do this literally every time.
Do we?
Mirror from 2012.
Yeah. I love that.
Literally, this comes up every other show. I can never remember the name. You can never remember what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I
See,
love that.
I gotta give it another go, but that's kind of I was hoping for Enchanted when I went to see that, and I just did not feel that at the start of the film.
Oh yeah, Julia. I don't think I've seen too many Julia Roberts movies. That and Nottingham Park or whatever it was called.
I think it's Notting Hill.
Notting Hill, sure.
You've never
I don't,
seen Erin Brockovich? That
oh
feels
yeah,
like
I
your
loved her
kind of
in
movie.
that. She was great in
Yeah.
that. Yep, you're right. You are right.
Pretty Woman? You've never seen Pretty Woman?
Nope.
Okay, a great one is My Best Friend's Wedding. Have you seen that?
My Best Friend's Wedding. Nope.
What about Runaway Bride?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was only because Kelly was into it.
Have you seen Ocean's 11?
No, I want to. 11, 12, 13, 14, and Ocean's 8. I do want to see those.
There is a really good one. I forgot she was in this. I was looking. She's obviously got way too many for me to recall, but there's a great little family movie that I like that she made in 2017 that was an adaptation of a children's book called Wonder. And she plays, I believe, I think she's the mom in the movie, not the school teacher. But I highly recommend that. It's a very cute movie if people want just like a family pleaser. But the kids should be over the age of 8 or 9. I think younger, and it's not something that would interest them.
What's it called?
It's called Wonder.
Wonder.
I believe, let's see. Yeah, it's about a little boy who's going to school, but he has a facial difference or disfigurement
Oh,
that he's dealing with that makes him really self-conscious, and he always
sure.
wears a little helmet, like a space helmet. And the book is talking about like getting comfortable in your own body, making sure you're making everyone feel welcome, that everybody's different. And that's just one difference for him. And it's really, the adaptation was very good. I remember my family went and saw it randomly. I think it came out around Thanksgiving, and we were trying to find something everybody would like. And it was all grown-ups, but we were all like, that was such a great movie. It's
Oh,
very
good.
cute. Recommend 2017 Wonder.
Okay. I think we covered that I own it, and now I own both of them, and now Jessica's interested in both of them. Oh, Derek, no, don't. This is fine. This is what this part of the show is for. It's tangents. Oh, you saw Devo, and it was a phenomenal show. The set list was solid. That's so awesome. That's so great. I'm so glad. I've never seen Devo. I would love to. Lodius Mutiny is my favorite of the year so far. I love his art. You know what I need to read before that is my favorite thing is Monsters Volume 2. I need to get.
Oh, is that the big oversized?
It's like this.
Oh, it's not what I'm thinking of then.
Yeah. My favorite thing was Monsters 1, I think was my book of the year back in 2018 or something. But then she got really sick and she does the whole thing herself. And then she got really sick and couldn't come up with volume 2 until I think last year. Dog plus copy plus comic equals perfection.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. Seems like Ryan North is also coming to a con in the Netherlands. Sadly, I don't have anyone to go with. And I think Munin might need some assistance getting around. I'm not sure. You can tell us.
No, it's tricky.
I finished all the Jeff Loeb issues, and I agree. Earth 2 Jess. Wait, is that me or you? That's me.
That's you. I think it was when you said the rest of it's not worth it.
Right. My favorite Disney prince is Jack Sparrow.
One time, I don't know if this will be funny to anyone else, but I think about it constantly. We were at trivia, like pub trivia, and Johnny Depp was like the answer to a question. And out of nowhere, one of my friends who doesn't really, She has a lot of interests, but media is not necessarily one of them. She goes, Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean looked like a human wind chime. And the more I thought about it, I was like, he did look like a wind chime. But I was
He's
like,
got a
what
lot of
an odd takeaway.
dangling from him. Yeah, he does.
She was holding on to it. So now every time I see him, any photo of him with like longer hair in general, I'm like close to a wind chime, but not full wind chime.
Oh, Chris is here. Nice. Welcome.
Hey, Chris.
Oh. Well, I've seen Paddington 2. That's one you definitely need. And I need to see, well, I could see the first one.
You do. You should see the first one.
And I need to see In Peru.
So good.
Yeah.
I think Paddington in Peru is coming to Netflix soon. I think I saw that on the home screen. I was trying to find something to watch the other day.
Good.
But you should go back and watch the first Paddington. It isn't as good as Paddington 2, but it's better than almost anything out. So I would say still watch it. I love Paddington.
Yeah, I can see why. It's number 2 is brilliant. I really loved it. Lilo and Stitch is one of my favorite Disney animated movies. My favorite of the new era Disney for sure.
Yeah.
The Barracuda is in Finding Nemo.
Oh, wait, what? You talking about Flounder? What do you mean?
That was Dory, wasn't it?
Wasn't
Dory
doing?
like Flounder-ish?
Let me look up a Barracuda. The only thing I know about is, ooh, Barracuda.
Right, the song.
No, this is not what Flounder is. Surely not. This man
it's weird.
It's terrifying. Oh my God. No.
It was weird that the Barracuda was the only fish in the movie that didn't talk. Made it more creepy. He was a bad guy, I guess.
Yeah, he is. His teeth are terrifying. I don't want to look that. I need to erase my search history.
Mistress of Evil is 2 from Maleficent.
Yeah, it was confusing because it didn't say Maleficent too. So I was like, wait, because what I was thinking of, and I think it's the new Snow White, isn't Gal Gadot? Is that how you're actually supposed to say her name?
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot.
I think she plays that character in the new Snow White live action, and that's what I had in my head. And I was like, wait, is it Angela? But it's 3 different. It's the Maleficent are their own thing, I think, and then this Snow White thing is its own.
She's the Sleeping Beauty evil queen, Maleficent.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I was thinking Snow White. You're totally right. Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to mix up evil queens. They're not all the same. They each have their own story, and I appreciate that. My bad. Sorry.
You don't want to get canceled by the evil queen crowd.
I love evil queen, so that was just my own little brain. They do have similar costumes, though. I'm going to go down a deep dive about this.
Yeah. Dumbo is my tearjerker. Baby mine gets me every time.
I have never seen Dumbo.
There are several scenes in there that are big tearjerkers.
I don't need that in my life.
Yeah. There's also some amazingly racist stuff.
Oh. I think I'm okay. I've gotten this far in life. I think I'm good.
Yeah. I
don't
know. I mean, when VCRs were still a thing, that we would get all the Disney movies on VHS, and that was one of them.
That was back in the day when they had those little things on the back that said proof of purchase, and if you sent so many in, you got a coupon for one of the future VHSs.
Oh?
And do you know how I remembered that?
How do you remember that?
So I have new coworkers. Jess knows I started a new job in April, and the office is very interesting split because it's like there's only 2 millennials in my immediate team, which is interesting because my last team was all millennials except for one person. So it's a very interesting switch up. So everybody's a Gen X. There's one that's like a boomer Gen X cusp.
What are you?
I'm a millennial, and I'm like in the middle of millennial.
Yeah, era. My daughter's a millennial.
Yeah, she is. But everybody else is like a Gen Z. Some of them are kind of on the line between Gen Z and millennial. But anyways, I was talking to one of them whose boyfriend is really into collecting VHS tapes, like super into it, kind of like people collect vinyl. He found some VHS player that his grandpa was getting rid of when he was going into like an assisted living place, and it became his thing. Which, by the way, those things are really pricey unless you find them bulk, because people now are collecting them. And
Yeah.
she was like, I just don't understand, because on the back there's like a receipt. And I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, on the back there's a receipt. And I said, take a picture of one. So then the next day she came in, and it was the proof of purchase. She
Oh,
thought they like added it when you bought it, and I was like, no, you used to send those in to get like discounts or an item or something like that. And she's
I
like,
thought proof of
oh,
purchase was a receipt? A proof of purchase.
I mean, yeah,
Okay.
I see her logic, but also how would that be added at the last minute? But it was one of those where it was like, wow, okay, I'm really old.
Hey, James, welcome. Duendis, welcome. When you ask me who's a badass action heroine, I've honestly just started saying Ming Na Wen. Yeah,
True.
completely.
Yep.
I have a monster crush on her, and I was so stupid I didn't pay attention to the Awesome Con, which is here in the district, Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, she's going to be there. I can go get my picture taken with her, or at least tell her I think she's great. That's all I want to do. And I just lost track of it. And last year she canceled, and this year just flaked and didn't go. So now it's my grail to meet her.
I get that.
Yeah. My favorite animated movie? Oh, yeah, My Neighbor Totoro. Totoro, Totoro. Touches my heart every time.
That is on my list. Wait, have I seen that?
Eat ramen.
No, wait, I've seen that one. Is that the one with hold on. I'm getting mixed up. The horrifying bus cat thing? Yep. I loved that one too, but the horrifying bus cat was the downside of it. I was like, oh, I'm going to watch them all. And then Max was like randomly the same. And he's watched 4 times as many as me in a 1-month span. And I'm feeling.
Oh, you guys had like a movie club thing you were doing?
No, it was in tandem. We always catch each other up on what we've been watching, because he's a big film person, obviously. And he was like, oh, I just watched it. Probably was Totoro. I can't remember. He'll watch this later and no. And I was like, oh yeah, that made me want to rewatch or watch all of those movies, because I've never seen the Ghibli movies, but Maddie loves them, so I wanna watch. And he's like, me too. And then I went on Letterboxd, and he had watched like 5. I only have watched 3, and I started like 6 months ago, and he started like a month ago. Felt so inferior. Yes, yeah. Max is at the movies. He's a double header, and one of them is Final Destination Bloodline. So I'm waiting to hear how bad it is.
Oh.
I'm excited. I'm seeing it next weekend regardless.
He does consume a lot of media. Mostly, I don't know that does he watch much TV? I don't get the feeling. I feel like he goes to the movies more. I don't remember that.
We've never really talked too much about TV, so probably not.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I haven't been watching as much TV either, so I'm watching The Last of Us. I think that. Oh, and Andor. Those are the 2 things I'm watching.
I need to start that. Oh, there's too much. Okay.
I'm sorry for you.
I'm excited for live action Lilo and Stitch, Superman, Fantastic Four, and Jurassic World Rebirth. Yeah, this summer's really got a lot of great. And on the horror side of things, a lot of returns of things. So there's Final Destination Bloodlines. I think in the US that's coming out this weekend. I think it must be earlier for Max. Yeah, he always gets things earlier. Yeah. And there's a new I Know What You Did Last Summer. And one of my most anticipated movies for sure of the whole year is 28 Years Later, which is 28 days, 28 weeks, 28 years. Because I love those first 2 films a lot. And I'm very much excited to rewatch them, because I think I rewatched last in like college. So it's been a while. I've only seen 28 Days. Yeah, you should see the other one's good too. I mean, 28 Days is better, but I think 28 Weeks was really good too. Oh, 28 Days is better than 28 Weeks? Yeah. I love 28 Days. I thought it was great. Yeah, it's great. 28 Years, I think I feel like they can have a lot more creativity, because so much time has passed at this point.
So I'm really excited to see what they do with that series. And then there's one more that will be after that, which I don't know if it's 28 years later, part 2, or if it's 28 decades or what it is. I would doubt
28
it. I
decades.
would doubt it's
The
decades, but
zombies are in space
I
cars,
think there's 2 planned.
flying cars. The second Omni is probably fine. I think you're probably happy reading it, and you should be. Everything's cool. Oh yeah, Hannah Montana. We watched a lot of Hannah Montana.
That was my sister's era of Disney.
Yeah. Now I didn't see Kim Possible, but I was getting a PDA tone for my message alerts. But I work in warehousing, so I'm definitely getting heckled if someone recognizing it.
I would be your friend. If I heard that ringtone, I'd be like, this is one of my people. I love it. It's my sister's text tone on her phone.
Enchanted has a sequel, Disenchanted. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, I have not either. I think did that come straight to streaming, I think, maybe. Also, once we get caught up, we should briefly touch on these because I have to go in 30 minutes.
Okay.
But we can get caught up a little bit more.
Oh, on the contrary, cat plus tea plus book equals perfection. There's something for all of us. I love Clive Owens, but I did not see this, where they play corporate spies.
I think my mom likes that movie. I need to look it up. Also, what if it's hot chocolate hamster? That also works. Just want everyone to feel seen and represented. Yes.
Yeah. Minuscule, a funny series about the secret life of insects.
No, but that's fun. I have seen Ants and Bugs Life. Both great.
Yes, I'm in a wheelchair, went out of the house, so besides just having someone to go with for fun, I also need a driver. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I liked the stop motion Paddington Bear show when it was on from late 80s. Didn't know about that.
I didn't either.
Did any of you... Yeah, didn't we talk about this at the beginning? The Superman Batman. I think Doug brought it up. Animated movies about a Supergirl story beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, it's good. We'll talk about it later.
I have this movie. I haven't seen it yet.
I think that adapts the first arc, if I remember correctly, and then the Supergirl one. Let me see. I have them in a double feature, so I never really pay attention to. It pulled up Batman v Superman.
It picked up what?
We'll stay out of that controversy. I said it pulled up Batman v Superman when I did that.
Oh, Match does. Oh, yeah. He watches What We Do in Shadows. That's right.
Public Enemies adapts this first arc. What was the Supergirl? They adapted that, didn't they? Or am I thinking of?
Yeah, I think that's just what.
Apocalypse. That's the one I think I'm thinking of.
So the Supergirl movie, well, how did it get adapted? So the first one was Public Enemies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's funny because they don't have. Okay, wait. Is that how they're titled? In the little tiny print that I'm having a hard time seeing? Just Superman / Batman. Okay. Oh, Public Enemies. Okay, that was the first story we read?
Yeah, and then Superman, that's not what it's called in the comic, but that is what it's called for the movie. And then the Supergirl arc that we read, the animated movie, is Superman, Batman, Apocalypse, I believe.
Oh.
Which that title makes a little bit more sense to me. The Public Enemies movie was a little bit, well, they're both a little bit different, but the Public Enemies animated one, if I remember correctly, not only is some of the plot a little different, but also some of the way they draw out different themes is a bit different. The Apocalypse one, I remember being a bit more faithful to the arc, but truthfully, I haven't watched either of those in a really long time. But the version I have is like a DVD that has both. There's some kind of like doubleheader DVD that they sold. But I remember enjoying both of them. I just can't remember how faithful the Supergirl one was. Public Enemy is a little bit different, though.
Okay, that's the first one we're talking about, and we should probably start. See, this is called The World's Finest. Superman, Batman, Part
Right.
2, Early Warning. Okay. Renamed. Okay, so we only have half an hour left. Is it too early to start talking about the topic?
We can give them all about 5 minutes. Give each arc maybe like 5 minutes, and then we can have a little bit of time to, at least
Okay.
for me, to wind down. So we read 3 arcs.
And then there's a couple short stories interspersed, very short stories.
Yeah, and I only had, I think, 2 short stories that were outside of the story. So I think the Omni might have a bit more, because I read them as these. So I read, there's like 2 different trade versions. This one has the first 2 arcs, and this one has the Supergirl arc.
Oh, okay.
And so this one covers issues 1 through 13. And this one covers 14 through 26. That's how I knew that one Supergirl story I like is coming up, is because I kept reading a bit and I was like, oh, we're in a different arc now.
Oh, okay.
The best part of any time we cover these books is we never read in the same format, hardly.
No,
So there's always a little bit different, which is fun.
Do you want me to show the art as you sort of describe the story?
Yeah, let me try to look up a summary that's just for the first one, though, because it has the next one in it, too, that first one. I put Butterman. Batman.
Butterman?
I don't know what I was doing. Okay. Okay, this has the little summary.
Yeah, well, first Lex is president of the United States. And they discover a giant kryptonite meteor is headed for Earth. And wait.
Okay.
And they send Metallo to dig up a grave.
Okay, I'm ready. Sorry,
Okay.
It took me a second because I forget that there's multiple Batman Superman runs. So I was like, make sure I have the right one. Okay, I'm ready for you.
Okay.
You can, zoom in on yourself for some art. So Loeb, who wrote Superman for 2 years before the launch of the title, wrote the book for the first 2 years of its publication. This is Wikipedia, so there's some added commentary. Unlike later writers, Loeb's work on the book lasted for several storylines, which were interconnected. In the first story arc, which is what Jess is showing, The World's Finest, also referred to as Public Enemies. Interesting. Okay. Then U.S. President Lex Luthor declares Superman and Batman enemies of the state, claiming that a kryptonite asteroid headed for Earth is connected to an evil plot by Superman. Luthor offers $100 million bounty, which encourages both supervillains and superheroes to attack. Superman almost kills Lex, with Batman standing aside. Superman changes his mind at the last moment. The new toy man, Hiro Okamura,
Oh, yeah, I really liked him.
Assists with the asteroid's destruction. Captain Atom is seemingly killed. Captain Atom plays a pretty large role, by the way, in this arc. It has been a while since I've seen him in anything. It's kind of interesting. The danger averted and Luthor's plans in jeopardy, Luthor injects himself with a mixture of venom and synthetic kryptonite, dons a battlesuit from Apocalypse, and confronts Batman and Superman. Luthor is defeated and appears to die in battle, although he is shown to survive. In the course of the fight, Luthor is exposed to the world as a villain for the first time in the post-crisis continuity. I don't remember if we said at the top this is a post-crisis story, but it should be obvious. Losing the presidency, Luthor is succeeded in office by Pete Ross. Pete gets the craziest little stories. Now, also probably, I should just say, in Protege, which is issue 7, that's one of the little mini ones that Jess was talking about, Superboy and Robin investigate Toyman. For their mentors. Also, the art in that bit was very heavily anime. It was like everything about it was very anime style. So that's the first arc, World's Finest or Public Enemy. Right off the bat, this is where I'm always, because I read this pretty early in it was probably 2 years after starting to read, especially a lot of DC. And that's where at the top we were talking about upper management was like, there's a lot in this. And there is. I would not say this is new reader friendly, but I do
Yeah.
love the simplicity of how this one starts with the parallel origin story retellings. Because when I started it, I was like, is this new reader friendly? And immediately, 2 issues later, I was like, absolutely not. But I liked the simplicity of retelling those origins as parallel. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
Milan.
Hey, Lon. Welcome. I liked how they had different narratives, and you could tell who was talking at each time. That's when caption boxes don't bother me, when they tell their important part of the story.
Yeah, and
their thought process and stuff.
yeah, it did a good job. Just that opening parallel, like both of them have very tragic origins in many ways, but how they chose to frame them, I think, is what gives you the inside lens into their thinking, their perspective on the world, which definitely becomes important, especially in the Supergirl arc. Actually, I think about how much they trust others in society, or etc. I think that's really interesting, and it kind of sets you up from the beginning to see some of those differences in a really succinct way.
Yeah. And we've got a time traveling Kingdom Come type Superman.
Yes. If you are a Silver Fox fan, anyone watching, Silver Fox Superman makes a showing. Who isn't? Who isn't? He was great. And I had totally forgotten. It had been truly since the first time I read this, like 10 plus years ago, that I had not visited it since then. That was so interesting. And truly, I could not remember, because he's basically trying to stop Superman, young Superman, our Superman.
Yeah.
He's warning him, if you don't stop, like, the world's going to end. And you're like, what is happening? It was very, very strong entrance by Silver Fox Superman, for sure.
And then at one point he shows up and he's willing to kill both Superman and Batman.
Yes.
To prevent whatever this thing is that's happening.
And you can tell he's been through a lot, because there's this really great moment, it's one of my favorites, where someone calls him Clark, the Silver Fox Superman. And he's like, I have not heard that name in forever. And it's that piece. We always talk about that piece about Clark and humanity. There's also a really good part, I think it's in this arc, where they say Clark is the most human of us all. And it's probably good he doesn't realize that he's actually very far from that as far as powers go. But you're like, yeah, you are so far astray from the things that ground you, and keep some of those powers in check. I thought that was really well done. That sort of moment of surprise where he's like, oh, yeah, I haven't heard that in forever.
Yeah. Sorry, the dust jacket just flipped out on me. I read it with the dust jacket on.
Oh, my God, monster. Okay.
I know. I did it just so I could get people upset. So yeah, Lex goes definitely off the deep end, but I thought it was interesting how he tied the incoming threat, instead of enlisting the help of those two, he used it as an excuse, because he has a problem with the fact, of course, that Superman's an alien. He wants those two thrown in the pokey. He uses it as an excuse to further his no alien, the alien agenda that I'm sure he ran on, to get elected. But then there's a lot of characters that I forgot about, like Major. What's his name? Major Assault, Major Force.
Oh, yeah, this is like a who's who of kind of B list, some C list.
Yeah.
DC characters
in this. Yeah.
But one of my faves, because we talked about, is Natasha Irons, and she gets to be not her best costume in this one, but she gets to make a little bit of an appearance in this arc, which I appreciate, for sure. What how did you feel about the impassioned kiss in this arc?
The impassioned kiss between Superman and Batman? What
The one
impassioned?
you don't remember this one? It's not burned in your brain.
Oh,
That was crazy. I again completely forgot. I was like, what is going on here?
yeah, that's Amanda Waller.
Yep.
That's right.
I love her face too. She's like, what's going on? Oh yeah. It's wild. That was crazy. But yes, they're pulling together. Waller obviously has all the B and C list DC characters on retainer, speed dial in her phone. You could say at this era, maybe they were her MySpace top 8. I'm not sure if this was the right era for that. We may have been on Facebook at this point. Do you remember MySpace?
I didn't deal with it, but I remember hearing about it. Yeah.
You used to rate your top friends, your top 8. So
You did?
Yeah. So Waller has her favorite B and C list on her top 8.
Oh.
For that one.
And then Superman, Silver Fox Superman is sitting in the Metron chair when Captain Atom shows up, and Captain Atom gets a rundown on what's happening, why Silver Fox wants to go back and make sure they don't do something in particular.
Yeah. Captain Atom gets some really good stuff. I really liked, I can't remember if I think it's this arc where he has the conversation with Luthor and kind of breaks a little bit of a crack in his motivations. He's like, this seems sus. I thought he was a really well-written character in this arc. Plays kind of an important role. You wouldn't expect.
Yeah, which I don't think you can say a lot about happens to Captain Atom.
No, not at all. No.
Yeah.
Not even a little bit. Yeah, this one for me was probably my favorite, which I expected the Supergirl one. In my memory, that's like one of my favorites. But actually, what I think I was partly thinking about was the one we're going to read for next time. So that's a tease for people to read that through this. But I actually think this one was my favorite of the 3 arcs, revisiting it.
I didn't pick a favorite because I think I like all 3. I think all 3 are exceptionally strong. And I particularly like the third one, which is called what? I don't even know. Does it have a name?
Absolute. Isn't that the
Absolute Power? Absolute Power. Yeah. That was, I think I loved that one a lot.
The weakness of this first one for me is the ending is super abrupt, and like the transition to that linking story with Robin, that sort of filler issue, you kind of just pivot. You're sort of like, you have this bombastic finale, especially centering around Lex, and then you kind of just pivot. So for me, that was the thing I probably didn't like that much about this first arc. And if I remember, again, the animated one's a bit different, how it does the story, and certainly how it finishes up.
Well, and yeah, that's where the continuity thing comes into play, because he's you see a discredited and missing Lex Luthor. And then in the next story, he's back being president, recruits. So maybe this is by Jeff Johns and Ivan Rice. So maybe in publishing, it came out first or something, or it came out, I'm not sure, but it's odd to see Lex discredited and missing and alone in the apocalypse suit, like right here in the sewer or wherever he was crushed down to, and crazy. And then in recruits, he's just back to being president. So if you're going to read this, just realize that this is not how, well, I mean, we're not going to worry about continuity, except in this case, it could confuse people because I think these were mapped. Probably they wanted to start off with a strong story, and I think Recruits maybe happens separately at the same time period or right before, because it does take some of the same story beats that were happening in the first story, with Captain Atom offering Superman a job from Lex Luthor. So that's my only piece of advice, is to just take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's fair. How did you feel about the? I know.
I think that he got overwhelmed with power craziness and just made out with whoever he could make out with, and Amanda Waller was there. Not worry about continuity. Have you met us? Yes, I know. I'm trying to tell you, take it easy. Don't worry about it.
I never worry. I'm like, yeah, that happened.
Phenomenal. Yeah, I think it's really good. You might want to wait until we finish the book next month. But the first three major story arcs are extremely strong. The Supergirl one, I think, is beloved, not only because it's a good story, but mostly because I think it's probably one of the most famous things that Michael Turner ever got to draw.
Well, this is my quibble with that one. So we'll get
with
into
the Supergirl one. Okay,
it's
like
too many G strings. I want to talk about it. All right, she's naked because she crash landed. That's fine. Wait.
Public Enemies you liked the most.
Yeah, the most. Okay. I really thought, and I'll go as quick because I know we're hitting time close to it. When I thought back to this run, when I looked on my shelf, the story I remember the most is this Supergirl story. So I thought it would be my favorite. And it's really good. The story I don't have too many quibbles with at all. I think it's a great introduction of the character, and it really highlights, I love the tension between Batman and Superman in this arc. I think it makes sense. It exposes the strengths and the areas for growth, as my mom would say, not a weakness, of both of the characters. But the drawing of Kara in this book, it's not her as a person, it is the costuming.
Super cheesy.
Yeah, so she crash lands, so she's naked, so they cover her up. I'll give you a pass on that one. She's crash landed. That's fine. I don't think we really need to show it, actually, is kind of what I'm trying to say. So she's crash landed, but there's no excuse for the way that these outfits go later on. It's impractical. It's weird. I hate it. And here, let me show you one example of what I'm talking about. Hopefully I can get it close enough. Let's see. This is her walking down the street with Clark. I don't know how well you can see this G-string that's like coming up by the sides of her.
Oh, that's what you're referring to.
But it's throughout. You can find 1,000 of them throughout, and I'm like, what are we doing? I don't need to expose people more to this. Here's a good one actually, where you can really see the G-string. One more.
Oh, okay.
This is what are we doing? This is what we're talking about, where it's like it just doesn't have to be that way. And otherwise, I think I'll add Wonder Woman. Actually, I'll say the conflict between all three of them about Kara is really interesting. The story is really interesting. The apocalypse stuff is really good. There's a very funny moment I hope I have time to still talk about in this one.
Sure.
But there's really, honestly, there's no excuse for how that character is drawn. And for it to be her reintroduction post-crisis and her to be like wildly over-sexualized in the way that she's drawn, just, it doesn't have to be that way. And you can still make a character be sexy without over-sexualizing them. It's not the fact that she's portrayed as like a sexy character. That's fine. But it's just weird. I don't like it. A 0 out of 10 for that aspect. The actual art otherwise is very good. And even some of the Themyscira scenes are better drawn out of more respect. There are some where it's like half of an ass cheek for no reason. But for the most part, they're not appalling. But some of these, I'm just like, what? We don't need this. So that's
So,
my rant
is this
a
the
little bit on
scene?
that.
Half an ass cheek.
Half an ass cheek. It's like, why would that be your battle outfit? Everyone knows it would just go up and in, which is not practical for battle. It's fine to draw people in sexy costumes. I don't have any problem with that. But there's times where it's like, this is not practical, and it's just for some kind of weird fantasy of someone that I'm not super into, when we're supposed to be portraying like warriors, where Kara's trying to decide which of these cultures should I look at, right? Who should be my model? And that's kind of the point of that. And you're not really treating them like that if you're drawing in that way. So my rant is over. This is the only downside, in my opinion, because I think it's a great story otherwise. I really liked it a lot.
That's fair criticism. That's completely fair.
Yeah. I'll give you the naked sheets scene. She was naked in there. That's fine. You can have that one, the audience.
Okay.
Other than that, no. Not cool.
Yeah, no, I get it. I totally get it. And you're right, to find that out of place. I think the interesting thing is, as you said, that Batman's the first one to find her down at the bottom of the Gotham Bay or Metropolis Bay or wherever it was. And she's immediately speaking Kryptonese and communicating with Superman. Batman's suspicious of her because he's just suspicious of the timing and the fact that she doesn't. He thinks she might be pretending to know nothing. He's just Batman. He suspects, and whereas Clark is immediately open to the fact that this could be his cousin. And then Darkseid wants her because of her power. Wonder Woman wants her because she needs to be trained in the ways of a warrior on Themyscira. Superman just wants to protect her. Big Barda goes with them. That was cool.
Pause. We need to talk about this. Actually, Grace has a different part of this scene, and then I'll talk about my part. At 249... crazed at 249. Okay, but I really like. I think is how it starts.
Go to recruit Bard. How Batman is already inside, and then lockpicking Scott's in the background. He's just like, I need this.
The other part that I thought was, I mean, truly, I loved this. I love Big Barda anyways, but it's the one where they're going to recruit her, and when they see her, Superman's talking to her, but she's so tall that he's like coming up to her chest. So to compensate for that, he kind of floats above her.
Oh, right. Yeah.
That was so funny. I loved that whole, that's like one of my favorite issues for sure in this little run here.
Yeah. And I think that helps. I'm glad that they did that perspective thing with Superman and Barda, because she doesn't look, all she is really tall. The Barda, I think that originally got drawn and that we see now is also very broad-shouldered and very strong, muscular, quite muscular in strength and stuff. And she, all she is tall and skinny. So I like that they put that the part she could. I didn't think they made her imposing enough.
I agree. Which she put on her costume a little bit, but not super. Yeah.
Yeah.
She really in King's Mr. Miracle, you do get the sense of her size in that. I think that was drawn so well.
Yeah, and in Birds of Prey too, Kelly Thompson's current Birds of Prey.
Yeah. Freddy's at 253. I was thinking about one of the internet dramas was, I don't know if the comic does it, I can't remember, but the New Frontier movie does make Superman shorter than Wonder Woman, and people were very angry about that. And I was like, that's realistic. That's totally realistic. It's not saying she could beat him in a fight necessarily, but she would be taller than him. So I liked that a lot, yeah.
It's definitely from the comic, too.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. It's been a while since I've read that one.
Yeah. Hey, Jess, I just got my Superman Silver Age Omnibus Volume 1. Good. I hope you enjoy it. That's awesome. yeah, when they go to Apocalypse, I think it's pretty boss. The scenes that happen in Apocalypse and on Themyscira are really, really great because Darkseid has hypnotized or manipulated Kara into wanting to stay with him, and she's she is able to take down Superman in this part, and Darkseid's completely manipulating her.
Yes.
And I think it's really interesting.
Her outfit there reminds me a little bit of when Jabba the Hutt has Princess Leia in that costume. This is the energy this is giving. Although you could say this covers more of Kara than was being covered.
Yeah.
It's just like the aesthetic of it too is very similar, for sure.
Right. Yeah, I remember this is a sidebar to Star Wars, but I remember when that came out that I was like, oh, that's Princess Leia. I didn't know she was like that. But she's like from
it's a different side of her for sure.
Yeah.
Although Carrie Fisher requested no one ever cosplay in that outfit. She hated that outfit. So
oh, that's good to know.
No one watching or listening get any bright ideas out of the memory.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, I think the story's great. It's just, I was so annoyed at, it really took it down a little bit for me. So I liked it a little less than World's Finest, but as a complete story, like just story alone, I think it's really good. It's essential reading, I think, for any three of those characters. Well, certainly Superman and Supergirl, maybe not for Batman. And I cannot recommend it enough if you've not read that one. It's just go in knowing this art might make you want to throw a few things at times.
Right. I loved Absolute Power. This is the third one we read. And it imagines, it's a world where I think they originally formed themselves back in the Silver Age as the Legion of Supervillains. Cosmic Man, Saturn Woman, and Lightning Man, or whatever they're calling their adult names, go back in time and change Earth's history by, instead of they whisk away Bruce after his parents are killed, and then kill the Kents, and they take young Superman and Bruce, and those three evil ones recreate are their parents in a sense. They call them, the Superman and Batman call them their parents, and they raise them to be completely the opposite of how they were raised in the original telling. And which I thought was amazing, that would be, we could see this completely evil side of them as they are trained to be completely evil people instead of the good upbringing, that they ended up with. So I thought that was a really interesting angle, and how ruthless they both are to anyone questioning their power.
Yeah, and it's really jarring because you don't know. They don't give you a lot of information at the beginning. You're kind of thrown in a little bit, and you're like, "What is happening?" Which is again why this is not good for upper management. And I can see where you feel like, "What the hell?" But it is like a nice parallel back to the first arc too, because it starts with these parallel origins. Now we're back, but they've been mixed up, and it is pretty. It's not dark. I mean, there's certainly darker things to read, but it is pretty wild, especially to watch Superman go so far. Sometimes Batman does get that way, so maybe it's a little less jarring, although he does some things in here that are, he's not going to forget for the rest of his life.
Oh yeah, that's right. They keep their memories.
Yeah, and that's kind of the haunting part, is you see them do all these pretty horrific things, and then it does eventually get reset, but they still remember what's happened, and it's pretty bleak actually. And I can't remember how it plays a role in future stories. Like, I remember beats of this next story that we'll do for June, but I actually can't remember how much the retaining of the memories plays out in the story. But I can imagine it would be quite a bit, and it would be sad actually if they dropped it, because that's kind of the whole point, since everything gets reset, is what it does to their characters. And it's definitely one of those that's a bit of a bottle arc, because it's all about exploration of the character more so than moving the plot forward in this series.
Yeah, I haven't. Well, just because I don't remember it doesn't mean it's not out there, but I haven't seen a reference to those memories since then. Maybe somebody in the chat knows if those absolute power memories come back to play in any future books after this. Wait, is that Silver Fox Superman again? Yeah.
Oh yeah, he makes a return.
Yeah. In Metron, well, there's Metron. Instead of Superman being in Metron's chair, Metron's in Metron's chair.
And this is another one of the who's who of B and C list. Shout out Grace Choi, who never appears in anything. She's randomly in this run. Love that for me. But yeah, this is another one where it's an extraordinary amount of characters thrown at you, because there's no consequence within the story for those people. So I think that's a little bit of a makes the play box a lot bigger for like the writers, right? Because it's like, well, we're going to reset this, so let's just throw everything in the wall.
To time, but go back. I mean, like they go back to, they go back to they go forward to include Commandy. They go backwards to include Jonah Hex and what's a Scalp Hunter. So yeah, this requires a lot of previous DC knowledge to get through.
Yeah, I think that, or if you really are interested in some of the other stuff, especially next week, if what we say is like super interesting, but your baseline DC knowledge is not as wide, I would just say when you get to that arc, know that it's going to reset anyways, and so you don't have to really know them all. And I think the most pivotal and traumatizing moments that happen, the actions Batman and Superman take, are towards people that are very familiar versus like not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think in that sense, if you really want to read everything else, but you're like, I don't know who all these B and C list people are, just know it's going to reset and go back to it.
Chris is asking about Scalp Hunter. There's Scalp Hunter, the Native American, who's.
It's truly everyone and their mom in that.
Yeah,
there's one.
They get displaced, but they're still their names. So it's hard to manipulate these books. And Duendis has an idea. This would be like 6 streams. A stream on Silver Age, Pre-Crisis, 52, and Rebirth. That's like 4 or 5, but I'm happy to do. I have seen Notting Hill. I listed that as one of the movies that I had seen her in.
I would love.
I liked Notting Hill. It wasn't bad. I'm just not a huge Julia Roberts fan, except she was great in Erin Brockovich. But anyway, there's a lot of time displacement, things changing, and Ra's al Ghul world ends up happening with Sergeant Rock and the Easy Company, the Haunted Tank. Oh yeah, this is
one of Maddie's favorite characters, and mine as well. Deadman also makes an appearance.
Oh yeah, Deadman's in there.
Uncle Sam with some political commentary. it's truly everyone.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Deadman. Oh my god.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, I would like to do the Supergirl Silver Age sometime. Oh, I mean, I like all the Supergirl stuff. I would definitely do it, but that's one I used to read those at night when I first got DC. I think it was Ultimate then. I used because they're such fun stories. They're so bonkers. That Silver Age Supergirl stuff. So I would like to revisit that.
They're very of its time, as they say.
I did like the exploration of the characters in this one, but for me, I would put it third.
Okay.
I kind of almost in order is how I would personally rank my enjoyment, knowing that what's holding two back is my quibble about Supergirl's costuming. Other than that, if I took that out, it'd probably be the Supergirl one, World's Finest, and then this one. But I can see why you really like it, for sure. This last arc.
Yeah, I think these are three of the strongest Superman Batman team up stories out there.
For team ups, yeah.
I team up stories. I really like them a lot. And I don't, to be honest, I feel like that was in the absolute. That's what was in the absolute. So that's all that I've ever read. I mean, I see.
Oh, you're gonna love this next one.
I see Huntress and Power Girl here, and I don't think I've read this.
Yeah, you're gonna have fun with this next show, I think, which I think is June 7th. We'll be back chatting about probably 3 arcs, but we'll look at and see what's
I'm happy
left
to
in there.
finish it up. I need to finish up an Omni, but it depends on you.
Yeah, I have to see which issues.
And
if I can read what I don't have on the app.
Yeah, and you can ask Maddie if she wants to be on, and then we can also discuss Sinners.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I will be watching it Tuesday.
I'm excited.
Everybody's leaving. Thank you for being here, Belgian Ellen. And Duendis, I think, already left. Bye. Yeah. Okay. Good. Good. This would be we got you 5 extra minutes, so we should probably sign off before they rip your internet right out from under you. Before
they Thanos snap me off the stream.
Oh, Mall 360, I'm so sorry you showed up. Good to see you, but we're just signing off. Thanks, Jewish Dragons, and thank you, Larasa.
Oh yeah, Larasa, thank you for the recommendation too.
I need to read that myself. Yeah. I want to read that, and my favorite thing is Monsters Volume 2. But yeah, thank you. Oh, no problem. Keeping you relaxed before the Knicks game. That's what we're for. Okay, good. Hope so. So that's our schedule. June 7th, we'll read as much as we can of the rest of this Superman Batman, and perhaps we'll have a guest, but we'll definitely talk about Sinners too. And thank you all for watching. Thank you to Jess for being my partner in crime on Superman. This is great. No, no, I can't. I really have to have some reading time. Thank you, Pity Mob, but I really have to have some. I need to do some reading. But thank you for wanting me to keep going. So yeah, peace and love, peace and love. I appreciate everybody, and I will use our theme song to play us out. And thanks again to Earth One Jess for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, everyone. It was a fun show.
Still one more. Rock and roll! Omnidog! Hey, Omnicat! Now here's the Omnidog and Omnicat show. It's the place to sit if you'd like to know more about the books that they've read. Kristen likes Lumberjanes and Steven. Jess likes to grow Jimmy Olsen. And you're in luck.